Hello and welcome. My name is Derek. It is that of the 30th day of May 2019. My name is Derek and welcome to the Money Charts channel. All bets, trades of the like, well, that is within each's own risk and their own reward. And as we start this off within Bitcoin dominance, which from this big run up to May the 13th, seen Bitcoin prices just skyrocketing while other coins not so much. And we had this first little down move coming down to the 38% Fibonacci. And they fixed this yesterday. This was like way down here on the daily. How much appears below? I don't know. But the bottom line is, after this move, it went sideways for a decent amount of time. And as we can see, the weakness coming within the 18 average of lows and starting to go down. 4 hour time frame, the same thing. But I wouldn't be surprised if this even continues into another 2 more days to reach this 56. And thus, most likely, it's going to be a bunch of these altcoins doing very well and obviously overperforming Bitcoin. And moving on to Bitcoin, that big May 15th top area was right in here as it went to the 8,200 for the first time. And this recent decline is because, well, yeah, Bitcoin's just hanging in there, pausing, going sideways, a bull flag. Not too far off now from the 18 average of highs, rising up towards it right now as far as the levels are concerned. The front weighted 18 highs in at 84.35, and the lows is close to breaking above 8,000. That would be tomorrow, pending, of course, it doesn't have any moves that go below it today. And within all of this going on in here, weekly term time frame, this has just been going straight up since it left off on April the 1st, showing it's not going to be an April Fool's rally like it was in 2018, at least after the month ended. It has continued to go up. 1, 2, 3, 4 decent green candles up. And now within this week, and I said last week was going to be a pause week. Okay, this one is, we'll see, because it's Thursday, there's still all of Friday, all of Saturday, all of Sunday. There's a lot of time left in this week. But right now it's pausing it. The action has been okay, we're en route to that of 98.14. So it's like a train. You're en route to this whatever station. And if it's 10 miles to that station and you're 4 miles into the trip, well, you got to go 6 more miles or however long it takes. And that's what way I look at it. I mean, yes, it's not like, oh, it's 100% it's going to go there, but it's the probability odds have always been higher than randomness should be ever since it was breaking this level and not finding resistance here. That will be an interesting story. But the next one, 12, well, 13,000. So therefore, with all this going on here, daily time frame, 4 pause days like this means on the 4 hour we can see a little bit of the sideways action. Looks like a little bit of a failed breakdown there on the single hour or on that move, and we can see it here. As the market had this little area of support here between 86.29 down to 85.43, and it just breezed through that level, and then you get that V-shaped formation. Markets go back up, it consolidates with the highs, and then it breaks out above here. 18 average higher low correctionary phase passed, and now since midnight or the last 9 plus hours or so, 9-ish hours, it has been continuously showing strength amongst microscopic volatility along the 18 average of highs. Getting out above this level of resistance in here, well, then we go to the previous high in here. And getting above that level of resistance, probably move like this to 10,000, but that's the way it is. Big move up, big move down, and then go sideways. But it seems all the intraday, intra-move corrections down have had a lot of this really fast regaining amongst the market. This little down move, it managed to regain it most certainly on this down move in here. This little down move took multiple days, but fast rebound. And all the up moves have had up move and some sort of sideways consolidation. As we have the, why does it do this to me? Hang on. And it sounds weird, but I think it's my keyboard. It hasn't, it's old. And it might need battery change. The mouse, I mean, it's only went through 7 dead batteries, so I know it doesn't act like this when it's low. And it's not a low battery either, because I just changed it couple weeks ago. Anyway, this is like this little move in here that went up. I mean, you can almost sort of going sideways, but when you look at this up move in here, sideways grinding lower, then it goes up, back down, and now there was a down move going sideways, but of course was able to get above the highs there. Correct, breakout. This move here, this little sideways range in here, had this resistance April 2nd, little small continuation rally, trying to break highs, barely doing so, but really piercing above. And then all of this sideways move in here, slower volatility showing strength on the 18. So whenever this sideways move is done, well, they'll probably have a significant move to one side or another. But the bulls right now, the buyers are in control of this market. There's definitely large institutional, large heavy buying for this to happen. This isn't just a whole bunch of everyday regular people putting 500, 2,000, 10,000, 50,000, quarter million, or 2 million in. This is, well, there'll be those people are included, of course, but this is, I gotta think this is large buying. I don't see how it cannot, going on April 1st in only 2 months, going from 4,000 and then making a move of well over 100% in the 2 month period. And right now, there's no signs of this 2 month run coming to a completion. At least now I don't see any. Let's continue on with a bunch of other coins. Bitcoin Cash, ABC. It is showing a lot of strength amongst the 18 average of highs. It has been doing so for the past 8 or 9 days. Today's session is looking to break that status, break that story, and that of breaking out, because in order to show strength at the 18 highs, you pretty much got to touch it. Today's session hasn't done that yet. And if it just stays like this, if this was a close, it just would be like, okay, the whole day was an attempt to break out, but it didn't do anything much. I guess it's still in that mode, because either it's got to come back down to the 18 and then continue to show strength there, or it's got to have a nice accelerated move, change the story to a very large breakout. And amongst the week, I don't got much data, so I'm not going to go too much on that. But let's put up Bitcoin Cash against the Bitcoin, which is showing a lot of good signs here that this thing is maybe ready to pop for a big gain. As we had this up move in here, go sideways down, all this sideways action in here, and then up it goes. Well, that's if it goes up, but that's what it's looking is going to happen amongst here. Now that it's had this up move, which has been followed through today with amazing holding and staying above, I would like to see it to be able to really stay and hold above. That's the keyword, stay and hold above this line, meaning it can have pierces below. I would like to see it come up to the 18 average of lows, higher low support if it's not going to go up yet, roughly at around 509 area. But it would take a couple days to get there, so maybe a day two going sideways, small red candle down. Those types of things could easily happen. But this looks very, very live, as if it's ready to get going. I always say, oh, if it gets it above this level, well, it has. It's there. It is above that level. Holding and staying above. That's exactly what it's doing now. So, I mean, it's all about the market now. It's, to me, just got good prospects moving forward. Now let's move on to Bitcoin Cash SV. And this is the HITBTC exchange. I got two choices on it, either this or Poloniex. And I mean, Poloniex is fine, but this is not. This didn't make Binance. I don't know on. I mean, I don't know much. I don't know much about Trezor as far as expanding the easy coins to put on there. I mean, Bitcoin Cash ABC is easy to put on there. But after an incredible run down, it's had an even larger incredible run up. And one of the things I've stated before is markets go up a lot faster than they go down. So therefore, from the time it broke down at about December 22nd to about May the 11th would have been about 5 months. That's how long it took to get from about 28.8 handle down to the 81 or say 80 handle. Because from this low in here to where we stand today, well, that's May 21st. Right now, it is not. It took 9 days right now to get there. And it could go higher. Maybe it might take 14 days to go to whatever larger number. But it has had that incredibly large move. It is also incredibly overextended. I do not trust HITBTC with a 10-foot pole, although during my trading in 2017, every single withdrawal that I made managed to go through. There was never any problems. But at this stage right now, especially with a lot of the things going on with the exchanges, Cryptopia, QuadraCX, just try to avoid them. And they're just getting a lot of bad reputation for what it's worth. Whether a lot of it's real FUD and all that type of stuff, I'm just gonna say that's it. Well, it could be, but I'm just not interested in anything like this. And if anything was up like this, I most certainly am not going to buy it when it's well extended on the daily like this, and it is now even starting to get well overextended on the weekly. And now let's take a look at Bitcoin Diamond and at the 183 handle. That's not 183 Satoshi. It looks like 6 digits, so it looks like 18,300. But down a lot. Markets go up a lot faster than they go down. So from the point here on April the 21st to this low on May the 10th, that was 19 days and 2 days to get it back up. And when they're ready to go, they go. And trying to determine in here, yep, Bitcoin Diamond, she's all that right now. At this stage, and of course you wouldn't see it with the band moving, you'd see it like that. And it's like, oh yeah, I mean, it's band flattening out, maybe. I mean, it's either got to go below the support or above the resistance, and it went well above the resistance. And viewing such on the weekly term time frame, there doesn't leave much to be desired here. For after this incredibly large decline on September the 3rd week, it went sideways, mainly grinding its way lower, and then that push down in here that I mentioned, that it's now just coming up to this level of support, which was resistance. So no bounce from this move, and that was an 82% down week. And if we look at where we stand, 10x is 1820 on the other side. So it lost 10x from this move here overall. Can we find 18 on the other side? There's 30, 50, 60, 70. Yes. So we have seen this go from the 18079 handle to the 182 handle. There's a 100x decline since the start of the January top. I have no interest in this coin. I don't know if I've even ever bought it at any time. I would venture no. Maybe 20, and if I did, I didn't hold it for too long, obviously, because I'd remember. Gonna move on next to Komodo, which had a little bit of a breakout, and then this is just a little bit of one. Markets go up a lot faster than they go down. Well, from this decline April 2nd to here, that was a month and a half. We'll see if it's able to get up there, how quick it is. But the setup looks pretty decent for it. It's been making a lot of these moves recently, and on the hourly term time frame. Well, first off, we had this level of resistance get tested, breaking above, and in here within yesterday's session has this nice little breakout. It was bigger on BITTREX, but comes up to this resistance, has its correctionary mode, and now just showing a lot of strength over the last 3 hours after this re-rally here amongst the 18 average. And it looks like there might be a decent chance getting above this resistance and possibly having a decent gain. Ethereum had its nice little run from the move in here to here. Okay, so when did this break down from here? This broke down on April the 2nd. And it took a month and change to get what it took 3 days to go up on. Okay, I gotcha. And back down to this key level of support. It's always 18 lows. It's always a key level for me. Find support there. Now it is attempting in this day to break that level of support. 4-hour term time frame. Showing it in here, up 3 sideways candles. That's always phenomenal. 1 hour, this is a pure time correction after the first price, little bit of a price, because it took enough times to allocate the 18 average to reach up to it. So nice little bullish setup, just like I mentioned with Bitcoin. It's very common, a nice little fast up move and then just go however a period of time of just going sideways, maybe 8 periods, maybe 28 or 48. And then there we go again, just one of those common situations. Let's take a look at Ethereum against the US fiat. And I got some Fibonacci lines that I would have drew in a few weeks or months or whatever long ago, or days, from that high up top and the low below, which at the 158.63 managed to have a level of resistance at two different occasions, at the end of last year and again on the second week of February, or the middle of February. And then as April came in, it managed to get above it, support it, congest it, stay and hold multiple periods where a big resistance was, where it spent little time. And then after breaking it above, we see that it's not resisting the 241.15. More in that we're getting support in here. So it really looks as if this is ready to go to the next level at 474.6. It's just giving you early indications based on that. Based on the daily term, though, there we are up to this Fibonacci line, resisting it, supporting it, so correcting it through time. So yeah, that did its job. Now we see it leaving the 18 average of highs on May the 26th, holding it with three sideways days and continue lift off from where the previous high is. Very much a bullish pattern moving forward. Let's move on next to Litecoin. And it's just continuing sideways moves after it's been have like this breakout. Well, this last breakout was May the 24th, and amongst the weekly time frame, it's moving up to its level of Fibonacci resistance in here. And within the break, this is what the statement was: that okay, leaving up. Okay, we're leaving this level. We're going to next, and next level's up here. Okay, good luck, Litecoin, in doing what you're doing. And it goes up here, has its successful correction, and now is just inches away. You could even possibly call this a large pierce below as it is. And the move is still alive. I'm expecting it to at least pierce above it. Time, of course, will only tell, and it's again moving sideways. Maybe it'll go up at any given time today, tomorrow, next day, meet up with the 18, maybe puts a small price correction down to 101 or 100 even down to 96.6, because that would meet up with the previous high and then pierce below the 18 lows. But overall, looking fine. Litecoin against Ethereum, let's take a look at that, then Litecoin against Bitcoin. And we'll take a quick look at the daily chart, which, well, Litecoin's been on a tear since the start of the year, and we can see that as this has went from point 2 up to about point 6. So over the first 4 months of the year, Litecoin tripling better its gains, but then Ethereum catching up. And that's a lot of the case within the altcoins, which is why I like the ratio trades overall. And this market really does give you, like, when you get the choppy action above and below, that's the ideal thing, and that's going to be normal things amongst such. But there's going to be decent sized moves with up and down moves within it. We can see in here that this was a 3x move from here to here. A little bit of, but not much, volatility in here. Okay amount in here. Not so much in this. But it has had point A low to point B high. This could very easily come back here because we have, maybe it's a situation, and even for that matter, we could still make this choppy and make a new high, in that maybe you have a situation where it breaks out above, maybe we come up to like 1.07, and then it just falls back down to 0.27. Because after it gets there, maybe Litecoin, that's part of the halvening maybe, and then Litecoin just goes up so phenomenally high, and then it has to cool off maybe over a period of time. It goes down 20%, where Ethereum doubles and goes up 160% or something, and that would make, of course, this go way down. But yeah, that's LTC versus Ethereum. As far as Litecoin against BTC, starting off within the weekly, point A low, point B high, and it's in its correctionary phase. We don't know if it's going to pass yet, but it's trying to do so. Just because it pierces below, especially if it's a big move, it's okay, or normal, then that's fine. But now that you've established support, hold it. It's basically it. Daily term time frame, this is that established level of support. And amongst such, we can see this little formation going down below key Fibonacci, how it tested it, broke down. But when it broke down, it didn't make new lows. And okay, so you go to previous, so well, now you're supposed to make like a lower high or just go sideways for a bit, then go down. No, that didn't happen. Instead, we see it comes up to this level, and now it's been consolidating above it, holding and staying within it for a few days. I usually say stuff like showing strength amongst the 18 highs, and I suppose it kind of is. But I'd rather say showing strength amongst a level of what is a key point, previous resistance support, but doing so is support, and that's such a bullish thing. And anytime it's ready to go, you could just have just a phenomenal gain, because we could see how within this here, for the start of the year, oh, Bitcoin all the way up in here, and then from April, it's went down against it, but that's just a case of like Bitcoin or Litecoin just having phenomenal gains to this point, and the down move being a big part of Bitcoin going up, and Litecoin being up so much before, unable to match its rate of ascension. And I'll finish this off within DGB. It's just hanging in there, doing this, grinding, showing strength within the 18 highs, not really showing anything to get above that 195 mark, but it's not doing anything to break this upward trend by any or break this upward trend or turn it into even a sideways or down one. The 18 average is rising. It's now in at that of 173. It was at 150 low, and it's just been making its way up. So that's one way of saying that over the next 2 3 days, it's going to meet up in the 180s. We've already had the 18 average of high stick within it. It's going to start to flatten out if it's not able to get above this level of resistance. But this is a live market to break and have this move. But it was live on May the 22nd all the way up to May the 26th. And then it started to become a little live again on May the 27th. So anytime it can do it, I wouldn't be surprised if it breaks this. It's a fast move, at least to the 256 handle. I'd like to thank you for tuning in to what probably is the first video of the day. And have yourself a magnificent one. Bye bye.